Okay. All right, here we go. Pure Land Mariko Mori. Color photograph on glass. Okay. Uh-oh. So here we have Mori herself as if in a vision. Like as if she's experiencing some type of religious vision. Yes?
Mori's that lady.
The artist. Okay. She is dressed up as a Heian deity, like the Heian period in Japan, Heian. She's dressed up as a Heian deity whose name is Kichi Jotun. You ready? Kichijoten.
That one word or two.
One. Kichi Jotun. Who is Kichi Jotun? She is a deity. She's a goddess. And she is the essence of beauty. And a bringer of prosperity and happiness. She's the Kichi Jotun. Kichi Jotun is the essence of beauty and a harbinger, bringer of prosperity and happiness. All right. Harbinger of and bringer of happiness. In her hands, she is holding a wish-granting jewel. In her hands, she's holding a wish-granting jewel, which I'm not going to tell you the Japanese word for, but this wish-granting jewel has the power to deny evil and fulfill wishes. Power to deny evil and fulfill wishes.
It was a child. That was a baby.
I saw it. Shut the door, Stanley. Thank you. Yeah, a child just ran down the hallway. All right. So holding a wish-granting jewel, which has the power to deny evil and fulfill wishes. And the jewel symbolizes Buddha's universal mind. Buddha's universal mind, a.k.a. Nirvana. The jewel symbolizes Buddha's universal mind, which is Nirvana. All right. It's Nirvana. Do you see what is below Mori? A lotus flower. A lotus flower. Who is Mori with?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I plugged in my phone because I was desperate.
Bye, Denver. All right. See ya. All right. So a lotus flower. Do you see who is accompanying the Heian deity Kichi Jotun? They're aliens. Not just flutes. The guy in the background's playing a guitar, and the guy in the foreground is playing a sax. Like they're all playing musical instruments floating on clouds. This looks and feels like an acid trip. What?
It's so fun.
What?
I love this.
Okay, I'm glad. So I don't understand Pure Land Buddhism. Pure Land Buddhism, it's very interesting. A lotus blossom floats on the water, symbolizes purity and rebirth into paradise. Purity and rebirth into paradise. Okay. This landscape evokes the Dead Sea, which is not Japanese. Have any of you been to Israel? Okay. The Dead Sea, I think, has like, if not the highest, one of the highest like salinity counts. And it you float. Like you float. It's because there's so much salt in the Dead Sea, you are incredibly buoyant, and it burns. It burns because the salt content is so high. I could only stay in the water for 5 minutes, and I wore a hot pink bathing suit. And when I was done, after 5 minutes, it was bleached almost white. Burns. It's wild. So, set in a landscape evoking the Dead Sea, everyone's floating, a place of extremely high salinity. Salt is seen as an agent of purification. So, Mori is a Japanese artist. I'm now moving on to like context, who her work likes to focus on the merging of consumer entertainment fantasies with traditional Japanese imagery. Yeah, her work merges consumer entertainment fantasies with traditional Japanese imagery. Doesn't this feel like a movie still? Like it's a combination of animation. Like, look at those aliens. Those are not drawn. Those are Those are computer generated. Yeah. Yes, it should look like that.
Emerges fantasies and
Consumer entertainment fantasies, like a complete immersive, like interactive experience. Like, and I'm going to tell you what this was displayed with that will make that make sense with traditional Japanese imagery. Like we're seeing the lotus. We're seeing Kichijoten, who is an ancient goddess. We're seeing references to like Buddhism and the Enlightenment and Nirvana. Now, what Mori likes to do is reinterpret the traditional Japanese imagery and iconography with innovative cinematography. Like, doesn't this feel like a still of a movie? When you like, so she's blending this with cinematography. So it's a creative interpretation of Japanese art forms. Like the aliens are animated. When you go to see this, okay? When you see this, it is a complete immersive experience. Sandalwood is pumped into the room, so your sense of smell is activated. There's music playing overhead, and there are movie screens showing like more like multimedia. It's complete immersion, activating all the senses. Sandalwood is pumped into it. You'll see like television screens like playing animation. There's sound of music. Like it's a complete immersive entertainment experience. And Mori is the creative heart of it. She's an actor, a producer, a director, writer. But so there's the irony here. Like she's using entertainment technology to merge an old age goddess of enlightenment with global consumerism. Like who consumes movies? Who consumes cartoons? People. So she's blending this like religion with entertainment. Yes.
What's that weird thing like way in the back? Like
Mount Meru, but doesn't it look like Bosch?
it's
Like Garden of Earthly Delights?
yeah, it does. It's like a teapot, but like
It's the alien spaceship.
Oh.
Okay. Have I done this with you? Cool. Yeah. Darkytown Rebellion. Let me know when you're ready. Yay, nay? Cool. All right. What do you see? Form and content are different, but what do you see? Daniel? Silhouettes. So we're going to do form first. All right. Silhouettes, which is a very traditional art form. So we're doing form first. We have silhouettes of what? Not content, but like what they're made out of. Mm-hmm. They're affixed to the gallery wall by wax. What else is part of this installation? What are we projecting? Color. Do you see like this old school projector on the left right here? On the bottom left? This is how I learned in high school. Like it's literally like a translucent like piece of paper and like the light is projected on the wall. All right, let's zoom in. From afar, what does it look like we're looking at?
People marching, walking with flags.
Yeah, people marching, walking with flags. Does it? What type of like when you look at this mix with the people and the color? At first glance, we're not looking too hard yet. It feels whimsical. What does it remind you of? Peter Pan storybook. And what? Wizard of Oz. It's supposed to feel like a fantasy, whimsical, give off storybook connection. Because Kara Walker wants you to like slowly realize what you're looking at and then rebel. Reminder, what is this called? Darkytown Rebellion. And we know that that is a slur. Yes? Yes. It's a slur. We don't, so we can already understand what's happening. All right, content. Let's talk about what we're seeing. All right. Do we know what this is on the far left? It's a jockey. Do we know the, before I go into like this, do we know what the overall themes are going to be? What is Kara Walker attacking? Society for what? Racism. All right. How many of you have seen those very racist, like garden decorations of jockeys? Have you seen? They have them all over Kentucky. They've been painted white. Have you seen any like lawn jockeys before? Oh, did you just like, okay. So like that was also, lawn jockeys were like literal ceramic, small jockeys that were racial stereotypical displays of Black people. Lawn jockey is also a slur. History has tried to like kind of revitalize or like backtrack from that, and all lawn jockeys have like, if they couldn't be repainted white, then they were thrown away. Then we have this another stereotype of the Sambo. I've said that with Basquiat, right? Did you watch Basquiat yet? Okay, if you haven't, I talk about this. Sambo is another stereotypical slur. It's referencing this like unintelligent, like primitive native African. So obviously a body doesn't bend like this, but we're supposed to understand that they're wearing like some type of raffia skirt and raffia like anklets, and their shadow looks like what's happening from them. What's leaking from them? Blood. This is referencing slavery. Like being enslaved. And I don't have information from all of these. You see this man right here? What's happened to him? Legs cut off and his leg bones are coming out of his hips. He's experienced a lot of pain as a result of what? Being worked too hard. Slavery. This one's tough. All right. So this can be read one of two ways. We'll go with the first one. Who does this look like based on dress? High society lady. Race. A high society, like white European lady. This one's tough. What has she done? She's she's murdering a black child. Which is like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's tough. That's why Kara Walker chose this like whimsical type of medium, because she wants your mind to rebel. All right. She wants your mind to rebel. It's in the title. We have two children carried by a typical, like, again, another stereotype of the black mammy. Two infants are being taken care of, and this black mammy is portrayed as like a bumpkin with like hayseeds coming out of her mouth. Who's this person? The man, who is he? He's got coattails, so we know he's probably what role? Plantation owner, the master. All right. And who's following him? Like almost in like a salute. Who's following him? Children. Like they're enamored. They're lulled in. But what is going to happen to the children as a result of being enslaved and being worked so hard? Look at the second child. What's the second child? Not emaciated. It's a skeleton. So indicating that like this will be the death of children, this enslavement. And then this like teenager is carrying a flag, but what does the flag look like? Ship sail, indicating what? Slavery, the slave ships. All right. So which one? I don't have them for all of them, but it's like I think it is like an elderly black person, like they like float away into non-existence. Like they're discarded. So Kara Walker is exploring themes of African Americans in the antebellum South. Using a traditional medium, Walker explores how stereotypes and caricatures. So antebellum South, like these jockeys were out in yards everywhere. And their features would be emphasized. Big eyes, like big mouth. They were awful. The work explores how stereotypes and caricatures of African Americans have been presented throughout history. But what are these characters in the act of doing? Rebelling. What are they rebelling against? Are they rebelling against their masters? No. What are they rebelling against? Their stereotypes. It was the artist's invention for the Darkytown rebellion to be a rebellion against their stereotypes. How they have been stereotyped in society and how we continue to stereotype them in society. It's not a recreation of a historical event, but a commentary on how history has been presented in the past and in the present. It's a commentary on how history has been presented in the past and the present. Now, when you look at this work, you interact with it how? What happens when a viewer goes to examine these figures? Look at the paper cutouts. What do they cast? So when you're interacting with this work, when you're looking at it, what's going to happen to you? Your shadow. All right. So basically, you're interacting with the work, you're walking around, you're looking at it, and your shadow is cast on the floor because you are complicit, the viewer, in this stereotyping. You are a part of the history of this piece, and you have the power to change it. So good, right? Kara Walker is an African-American artist, California born, New York based. So she got the coast to coast thing going on. Again, her work explores themes of African-Americans in the antebellum South. Like, her work's great. Themes of this would be social commentary and like wall surfaces. All right, next. You ready? Oh my God, that was bad. I like thought I X'd out, but I just minimized. 220. 215?
Yeah.
215. So I think I can get 2 more done, which is great. Because the next 2 are pretty short. Have I done old man's cloth with you? Okay, great. I can get 2 more done. I got 15 minutes. Do you recognize this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where's it from? What's it referencing?
The swing of the other one.
By who's the other one's name?
Is it?
It is Fragonard. All right, I'm going to zoom in. Let me know when you're ready. Yes, no? Okay. All right. What are we seeing? A headless lady on a swing. Yeah, she's kicking the shoe off. What, Daniel?
I don't know why I said her foot is midair.
I mean, her foot is midair. You're not wrong. You know, it's in the middle of the air. So what's missing that was in the painting? Besides her head. The people, right? The men. And remember, like, the man in the bushes, he was what? Staring up her dress. It was voyeuristic. Who's replaced the man in the bushes? The viewer. So we're the creepy man in the bushes. So this is got some erotic voyeurism going on. The audience takes the place of the men, where it's erotic voyeurism. So the 2 men are not included, but we are. A bishop? Yeah, a man of the cloth, not allowed to marry. Okay, the work is life-size headless mannequin, and it is a reference to, do you know what happened like almost immediately after the swing was, like pretty soon in history, after the swing was created? French Revolution. So what is being referenced here? Not just Marie Antoinette, but like,
just like all of the beheadings.
All of the beheadings from the guillotine. All of the beheadings from the guillotine. GUI. I think it's, yeah, LLOTINED. All right. Headless mannequin, inspired by Fragonard's The Swing. Yinka Shonibare is British born, but of Nigerian descent. He lives and works in London, but his parents are from Nigeria. So I'm sorry it's pixelated so you can't see. Her clothing is what's known as Dutch wax fabric. Dutch wax fabric.
Form. Oh, yeah.
Both. All of it. It's form. Dutch wax fabric. Because it's a textile. Made in Europe, but sold in Africa. Have you seen those beautiful African textiles where women are like vibrantly colored? They're like incredibly patterned and repetitious in pattern, and we associate them with distinctly as African in culture. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's not from Africa. So we're referencing a post-colonial world and global trade. It's very interesting. Post-colonial world and global trade. Dutch wax fabric. It's sold in Africa. References global trade and the post-colonial life in Africa. Themes are depicting motion. We good? Old man's cloth. Anatsui is how we pronounce this artist's name. Anatsui. Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready. How do the title and the medium differ?
Oh, it's not a cloth.
It's not a cloth, it's metal. But it's referencing what? We just learned about it. The kiss? Oh, wait, I understand why it looks like the kiss. It's not supposed to. And It's supposed to look like African textile. Like that Dutch wax fabric. And when you hang this on the wall, the metal, what does it do? What light hits it?
It reflects.
Yeah, it reflects. It glimmers. You know what it's made of? Flattened bottle caps, 1,000 of them. Hung with, like, looped together with wire and hung to on the wall, like to look like a cloth, like hanging. Bottle caps. Anatsui is using power tools, like and chainsaws and welding torches. And basically, in this new type of like global environment, there's a recycling element to this work, like an environmentalism component to this work, because he's using found materials in creating a new media. And even though it's metal and copper wire linking all the flattened bottle caps, it is somewhere between, it feels like somewhere between a painting and a sculpture, although there's no paint. Excuse me. Again, recycling of found objects. Anatsui was born in Ghana. And Ghana is the land of... What color is this? Primarily. What?
Sun, yellow.
Gold. Remember the golden school of the Asante people? That's from Ghana. So Anatsui was born in Ghana. And so the gold color reflects traditional cloth colors of Ghana. And gold references royalty. Also, the Ashanti or Asante people controlled the gold trade in Africa. We know this. So the gold symbolizes Ashanti control over the gold trade in Africa. The gold color reflects traditional cloth colors of Ghana and references royalty. Anatsui is producing textured and colorful wall hangings related to West African textiles. Okay, a couple more things. Anatsui combines aesthetic traditions of his home country of Ghana, his adopted country of Nigeria. He did his career in Nigeria. Anatsui combines aesthetic traditions of his home country of Ghana, his adopted country of Nigeria, and the global art movement with abstract art. Global art movement of abstract art. And then I have one more thing for form. That was all context. I have form.
What was the other country again?
Nigeria.
What was the last thing?
And the global art movement of abstract art. Now we got to go back to form. Two things. Is this work flat? No, but you hang it like a cloth, even though it's not a cloth. And what's interesting, and Anatsui intended this. It's up to the curators on how to hang it to its best advantage, right? And every museum that these cloths travel to are different in lighting, etc. Correct? So the work always appears slightly different. It's never going to be displayed in the same way, which makes it feel alive. Themes would be cloth or textile. So like what should you definitely compare this to from Indigenous American unit? Altokapu tunic. Yep, that one. Grace, you were miming. Altokapu tunic. What's the one that you should compare it to in the Pacific? The tapa cloth, Iapo. And then the funeral banner of Lady Di is also fine. Okay. I'm going to stop recording, that is.